Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Amber Nicole. Today's video, I'm going to be helping a woman with vitiligo learn to do her makeup. She sent in a photo and I'm going to be giving her the best tips and tricks on how to do her makeup, how to pick her shade and everything with her pattern of vitiligo. So please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get into this video. So to get into this video, the beautiful person that we're going to be helping learn to do their makeup today is the beautiful Victoria. Okay, so as you guys can see, her vitiligo is a little similar to mine. I would say like back in the day when my vitiligo wasn't as present in my face, my spots looked more like this, except I never had the brown in the middle. It was always just kind of straight white through, brown nose, and then I had like very small like speckles on my cheeks. So I definitely know how to navigate this. So let's get into this video to show Victoria how she can do her makeup, and also anyone else that has spots that are similar to hers. So the first thing I always start with are my eyebrows. So I've been using the Anastasia Brow Freeze Gel on my brows, but before I was using this, I was using the NYX Brow Glue. This works really well, but if you're a person that runs on like the hotter side, or if it's really warm in your climate, I would not suggest this because this product can move. I would suggest the Brow Freeze because it does just that. It freezes your brows. So I'm going to go in with this first. What I typically like to do is just coat the entire brow in the product. And it has like little combs on it, but I prefer using like my brush to like smooth out the product. I do one brow at a time because this does dry down pretty quickly. I just take the spoolie on the back end of like my eyebrow pencil and just brush my hairs up, pressing firmly down. And then I'll swoop it here just to make everything connect and just kind of push those brow hairs down because it'll give the laminated look, which I love when it comes to my makeup. The brows look so good. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the other part of my brow. So I would say our eyebrows are kind of the same. She has a lot of white on both sides of her brow. Like I have a lot of white on this side and not on this side, but she kind of has the same. I would say when it comes to doing your eyebrows and your brow kind of lands on the white and the brown part, you really want to be careful with how much product you use. You don't want to use too much product because of course where the brow is a little whiter, if you use a lot of heavy product there, it's going to look very harsh right there, and that's what we don't want. When it comes to doing your makeup with vitiligo, you don't want any part of your face to look too harsh or for there to be too much contrast, or everything to blend in and look nice. I feel like that's why my makeup looks really nice, because when it comes to the color that I use for my white skin, it isn't too bright or it isn't too dark, and same thing with the brown foundation. I'm not using anything that's too light or too dark for my skin. They both match evenly, so there's a good even contrast between the two skin colors. Maybe drink a little matcha. Yeah, I'm taking a quick little matcha break. If you don't know, I love matcha. I mean, I'm gonna have matcha every day. When I had my migraines, y'all, I couldn't have matcha and I was so sad. Continue with our brows. I go in between using the Anastasia Brow Wiz and the Maybelline Express Brow all the time. So I'm gonna use the Maybelline Express Brow today. I love a very fine brow pencil. So to start off with your brows, again, because like your brows live in like the white and the brown spaces, you want to take this very slowly and just kind of fill in. Like when you laminate your brows like this, you can kind of see like where the areas are a little sparse. You just want to go in with your pencil or whatever and fill in those spaces to have a full looking brow. So as you can see, I'm going to go in right here. I'm just going to lightly go in and do little flicks like where there's a little more color that needs to be done. And of course, if you have like a shorter tail, fill that out and bring it down, but not too much. Your tail kind of always wants to be like in alignment with like the corner of your eye. So as you can see, that's perfect. And on this eye, it's a little shorter, but you just want to go in and fill in your brows just like this. And sometimes I'll take do a little straight line here for indication for when I go and carve out the brow. But as you can see, I didn't do too much. Same thing on this side. You have very like straight, like natural brows. So again, you won't need much. Just go in and slowly fill in the little sparse hairs that you have. Again, my wing is short on this side, so I'm just bringing it down just a little bit. All right, now that I'm done with my brows, this is when I typically go in with my concealer. So Kylie Cosmetics was kind enough to send me their entire foundation and concealer collection. So I will be gifting Miss Victoria some of these products that I'm using in my video today, especially the complexion products. So for her, as you can see here, that, you know, her skin is a lot darker than mine, but typically with people with vitiligo, all of our vitiligo is going to be the same because we all lack pigment unless you're not fully depigmented in that area. The foundation color that I think would be best for her is 9.5 WN. As you can see, this is the color. I think this is going to be a really great match for her. And then also, when it comes to picking your shade, she definitely has a little bit more of a cooler undertone. And definitely for her depigmented skin, the vitiligo, we all have a cooler tone. But I would say that if you do have darker skin, you know, like she does, I would suggest that you pick a concealer that's a little warmer. It's not picking up on camera, but this one compared to the one that I use, this one is a tad warmer. It's not picking up great on camera, but this one is a little bit warmer. I would suggest that she use a warmer shade so there's not a huge contrast between her natural skin tone and the vitiligo. So this shade that I picked for her is 2N by Kylie Cosmetics. So let's get into the shades that I use. So these are the ones I'm going to be sending out to her. For the shade that I use for my foundation, I use 9WN. This is the shade. As you can see, it's pretty much identical to like my skin tone. And then I use shade 2W in the concealer. As you can see, it's pretty much like almost the same tone as my vitiligo. So for Victoria, when she's gonna go in with her products, let's see. Her brow on one side, they both seem to have about the same amount of white. Okay, so what she will want to do is she will want to take her concealer and outline all of the white part under her brow. Just like this. See, I only go to the white part. Outline it here, and then I'm going to outline it on this side as well. Doing your concealer this way, going slow and kind of outlining everything, that's the best way to start when you're a beginner. So what I'll do here is I'll do a straight line down with my brow and I will just trace out all of the edges of the white. This will help you to stay a little more in the line and not have as much to clean up. So yeah, just go all around your edges here. For her, she's going to do the same thing because she has vitiligo kind of in the same areas. When you're doing your concealer under your eye, make sure like you really cover up that redness. If you have any redness or purple under the eyes. It might look crazy in the beginning, but you just have to trust the process. Also, make sure not to put too much product on because then when blending it out, it can just be entirely too much. As you can see, there's not too much product on the brush and I'm using as much as I can before I ultimately dip it back into the product. And since you don't have it on your nose, of course you won't blend it down to your nose, but outline all of your white areas. You have a little white around your nose right here. If you want to, you can add a little bit of the concealer right there. Very small, just a very small amount. It's super small. Okay, since I have more white, I'm going to just add concealer where I typically would. If your vitiligo kind of mimics mine a little bit, I never put makeup right here. I found that it just does not look the best. I don't know why, it just doesn't, so I kind of just like avoid that part. And it really doesn't make any difference. Okay, so when it comes to the beauty tools you might need when you have vitiligo, we're going to let this concealer sit for about a minute. So the beauty tools that I really like to use when it comes to the white parts of my face, since they are smaller, and with Victoria's it's obviously way smaller than mine, I would say using a really small like concealer brush like this is great to get into those small areas to help blend things out, and also using like a small like fluffy brush to help blend products out. So I will be sending Victoria some of these tools as well to help her get started with her journey. So when I first started, I would go in with a really small brush like this. And what you do is like in these little areas where you kind of don't want it to mess up, you kind of just go in and kind of blend that product out before you go in with like a big brush. So that's what I'm doing here, just kind of blending this down, making sure that line is good and crisp. Kind of just going along the edges here. Now you will get a little bit of the white makeup on the brown, and that is okay, because when we do our brown foundation, it won't be that much of a big deal. And right here, I have to bring this out into the brown skin, and Victoria will as well. Then what I like to do is go in with my fluffy brush and just kind of buff and blend everything out. It's important to let the concealer dry down so like the product doesn't move too much. You don't want the product to be slipping and sliding all over your face. You want it to be pretty matte. And letting it dry down helps with better application. I would highly suggest using a brush over a sponge, just because a sponge kind of soaks up a lot of the product so it doesn't get into the skin like it's supposed to. Yes, I just take little light brush strokes and blend it out. And usually if you have white around your eyes and if you have vitiligo, you tend to have very red under eyes. So you really just want to make sure that that product is soaked in pretty well. Right here, since I don't have a lot of brown, sometimes the white gets on the brown, but that is fine because I go in and correct that with the brown makeup later. Make sure if you do have it on your nose, you really get into your little like crevices here and around your nose ring if you do have one. You really want to buff out any harsh lines. So again, like if the eyebrow is looking a little harsh under here where you put it, you just want to take that smaller brush again and just again try to blend out that line if it's a little harsh. I go in one more time with the concealer right where my eyes tend to be red, and I just put a little here, and I'm just gonna let that sit again for like 30 seconds to a minute just to get a little dry. Okay, so while we're waiting for that to dry, I'm gonna go ahead and blend this out down here at the bottom. So for Victoria, since she doesn't have that much white around her mouth, she really doesn't need to worry about putting any white foundation down there because it'll just move, and we don't want the skin down there to be blotchy or weird. But for me, since I have a lot here, if I am like going for like a full coverage look, I'm going to go ahead and add the concealer down here. Okay, now that that's done, we're gonna go in and just blend this out. I go ahead and just pat it, not brushing it, but I just pat it in. Okay, now in the routine, before I move on to the brown foundation, I'm going to set all the white areas with this translucent powder by Anastasia. It's important to set it because this is not foundation, but it's concealer. So I'll go in again with my little fluffy brush. I just go in here and pat all the little areas that I put white concealer over, just to kind of lock it and set it in so it doesn't move or crease throughout the day. I do the same thing with the eyes, kind of just brushing it over. I kind of just dust it over with the eyes. So Victoria can do the same thing. So this is where primarily where her vitiligo is, just everywhere where it's white, just lightly dust over this setting powder. Then I take my little sponge here, tap it into the product just a little bit, and go in under my eyes to set the eyes. I'm going to use more product here than anywhere because of course the eyes crease, especially under the eyes. Make sure to like look down so you can really get it in those creases. Okay, by now you probably feel like you're looking crazy or I'm looking crazy, but this is where we go in and we clean up our work with the brown foundation. So I'm taking the Kylie Cosmetics. What I like to do, since I don't need a bunch of products, I like to put it on like on top of like a flat surface or a product that I have. So I constantly use this little top. So I just put a little bit there. You really don't need a lot. Like that's all you really need. So the next tools that I tend to use on my brown skin, I go through quite a few different tools depending on the mood that I'm in. So these are the three big brushes that I use. As you can see, they're all like medium size so that I can really like kind of focus the product on certain areas. This is the Fenty Beauty brush. This is the Fenty 110 Beauty brush. This is the Kylie Cosmetics, does it have a number? 01 brush. And then this is the IT Cosmetics number 7 brush. Yeah. This is actually a concealer. This says conceal. Yeah, it's a dual-sided brush. This is the one I typically use like every single day. And then these two small brushes. This is a small foundation brush from Elf Cosmetics. And I think I got this from Bloomingdale's. It was like in a random pack. It doesn't have a number on it or anything, but again, it's a small brush. So either one of these are really great at going through to outline the brown around the vitiligo. I used to use this brush all the time, but I recently picked this brush up to give it a try. Again, Victoria will be getting both of these brushes. So I'm gonna go in with the small brush for today. Just pick up a little bit of the product, just like this. Just pick up a little bit of the product. And we're gonna go in and start kind of outlining all around the white vitiligo, so then when we take our big brush, we can move kind of fast. So I typically start right here. Let me get a good angle. And again, it might look crazy, but just give it time. Just blend it out. You make your little line, outline, and then blend it outwards. Go in here under my brow. I get real quiet sometimes when I do this. Okay, pick up a little bit more product. Again, just outline it and blend it out. Okay, same thing here. She has a lot more brown than me, so this process won't be as tedious for her. But again, you just outline under your eyebrows, outline the middle of your nose and on your nose. I would actually say to use this brush or this brush on your nose only. You don't need to use the big brush on your nose. Use one of these brushes to complete the look. I actually use the e.l.f. brush, the brush that's bigger than this. Use that one to fill out your nose. Same thing, you have a little bit of white right here. I don't think I said it before, but you can add a little bit of concealer right there and then outline it with the brown. Just go really slow. This is why this small brush is good, because even like around your mouth, you want to be able to get into, you want to be able to outline that brown really well. And using the small brush will really help with that. I used to have that much brown on my chin like 2-3 years ago. Okay, there we go. Now that's all blended out on that side. Let's do our other side. Okay, I'm gonna bring the color down right here. Same thing, you would just again outline everything, all the brown areas. Use the small brush, especially around your nose and around your mouth. Okay. Okay, y'all, I'm gonna speed through this part so we can get to the actual foundation coverage part. Okay, then I go in with my little dab here on my nose. Now I'm taking my IT Cosmetics brush. I'm gonna dab it into the product. I don't wanna pick up too much product. So when I dab it in, I kind of dab it in and kind of spread it out a little bit. So I'm not picking up too much product. Again, you don't wanna use too much product in any of this. So I just go in here, so you do the same thing. I don't think you have any vitiligo on the side of your face, so again, just pick up your brush and just start blending out. Just make sure you really blend out those areas you added the foundation in first. You want to move quickly because the product dries down. Make sure you blend up into your hairline. I see that you have a little vitiligo in your hairline, so just be mindful of that, of not blending up the brown into that area. We're not going to put any white right there because it is in your hairline, but just like kind of where it's kind of squiggly right here. Again, with that brush, you would take it and just kind of outline that area and just stay in that frame and not blend the product up into the white part. When I was younger, I actually had white in my hairline. Like all of this right here used to be white when I was younger. So vitiligo does what it wants to do. It changes over time. Sometimes it can go away. Sometimes it can come back. I think it's just depending on the person. I think everyone's vitiligo and how it acts and what, you know, can make it worse or better kind of varies between, you know, person by person. And I think that's because it is an autoimmune disease. I think that's why it acts a little differently. Then this is when you kind of go in and review your work, see if there needs to be any touch-ups, if the brown split over into the white. I don't think I put enough brown right here, so I'm just gonna go in and correct that. Same thing right here. Bring that brown up a little bit more. So yeah, I just go, this is just the part where I go in. If there's any brown on the white, I clean that up. If there's any white on the brown still, I cleaned that up. Once you do this enough times, like, you'll get the hang of it to where, like, you know you're good. Unless I'm rushing, that's when I make a lot of mistakes. Okay, clearly I forgot the little bit on my chin right here. When me and Victoria spoke, she said she wanted to kind of play around with color a little bit more, and she said she would like to give purple a try. So today we're going to do a very simple, just single color purple look on the eyes. I personally feel like when you're starting to learn how to do makeup, you start with just kind of like a single color on the eye and learn how to blend it out very well. And also when it comes to vitiligo, for me personally, I stay away from like super dark colors around the eyes because I feel like the contrast doesn't always look the best. I want to go for colors that are like a little muted versus like harsh dark, like let's just say blacks or grays or something like that. But like maybe like a medium purple or very vibrant purples. Anything vibrant I think really helps our eyes to pop. So today I'm going to be going in with this Revlon palette, and I'm going to be using this like pinkish purple shade here and like this shimmer color. So even though our eyes are white, I think it's always great to kind of go in with an eye primer. So I'm using this eye primer by Anastasia. This is the only eye primer that I've tried, so this is the only one I can recommend. It just helps for the color to stick better and lay down better, whether your eyes are white or not. So just go in with a couple little dabs. I take the same brush, fluffy brush, and kind of just put that all over the eye and blend it out. Our eye shapes are kind of similar. I love your eye shape. It is literally so beautiful. It's like a gorgeous like cat eye, and I love that look. So flirty lashes like a cat eye or like a half lash will also work like really great on your eye color. On your eye shape. And also your cheekbones are freaking amazing. You have a beautiful smile. Then what you want to do is you want to take like a dense eyeshadow brush like this, very short, very dense. You use that to pack the color on initially. So you want to go in and kind of pick up as much product as you can on that brush, and then you want to just pat it on slowly. Go back in, get a little bit more product. You don't want to use a blending brush like this to pick up the product because it's not going to pick up as much product and it's not going to be as pigmented. So you want to use a dense brush like this. It also helps you to kind of build the color. Now this is typically where people stop. They put the color on, they go boom, 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 and they be like, boom, I'm out the door, I'm ready. No, you do have to take your time and blend the products out. I would say this is like the simplest way to do it. Some people put down like a base color and then blend that and then put this on top, and that's complicated when you're first starting out. So again, once you put that down with the dense brush, you can take a blending brush like this and then slowly start to blend those edges out. I go in a circular motion like this just around the edge. You don't want to pick the product up on the eye and take that away. You just want to make sure that this color is blending in with your natural skin tone. Lighter colors on vitiligo skin is way easier to blend out versus like a really dark brown or a black or a gray or a deep purple or a deep blue. And as you can see, when I bring my eye down, it isn't like a super harsh line of where the color started and where it stops. It kind of gradually builds up. So again, we're going to do the same thing on the other eye. Patting the color on the lid. I'm kind of bringing it up just a little bit. Just making sure that color is on there nice and good. Okay. Then for the light little shimmer, you're going to go in with your dense brush again. Make sure it's cleaned off and just add your little shimmer on top. Okay, also what I love to do is bring down the color under the eyes. And I would also say that when it comes to the eyes, when you have vitiligo and it's white around, I love to keep it very bright and very open. So I typically shy away from putting like any eyeliner in my waterline unless I'm doing like a full glam look, but that's very, very rare. I like to keep things natural or fun or flirty. So again, I'm taking my dense brush and just going under my eye just like this, bringing it all the way up, not all the way to the inner corner, but just almost there. Take this little brush right here just to bring the shimmer in my inner corner, because sometimes that really looks pretty and it helps the look to pop. Actually, instead of bringing that color, I'm going to use a different color, something with a little more shimmer. I'm going to use my Diamond Bomb by Fenty Beauty. This is also what my highlighter is going to be for today. I'm just going to bring that here and put a little bit on the inner corners just to kind of make it pop and bring it down right here. Moving on to the almost last step of the eyes, I love adding a wing eyeliner to a look. Wing liner is very easy. People think that it's really hard, but it's very easy. And I also think with your beautiful cat eyes, adding the little wing liner just adds a little bit of flair and drama that I personally love and I think will look beautiful on you. Okay, so I'm using the Sephora eyeliner. I think it's best to use either a liner with kind of like a paint brush tip like this, or to use like dip eyeliner, which I'll give you an example. They're kind of like watercolor eyeliners. You can get these off Amazon and you just order like brushes to go with them. I think that is the best way to get the best eyeliner look. The pens kind of run out of ink and can make your line like jaggedy. So when I'm doing my liner, I'm gonna try to do this while I talk. You kind of want to start in the middle of your eye. That's what I do. So you start in the middle and you kind of just bring it up. You follow the natural shape. So as you can see, I like naturally have like a little crease right here. And again, you kind of want this to match up with your brow. So let's get into that. And also you don't want to like, because I'm not going to do this while I talk. You don't want to like start here and then bring it down like that. You want to start here, kind of bring it up and out, and then fill in the bottom. So you'll see how I do it. All right, you see how light that stroke was? You want to keep it real light, and then you go in at the bottom. Take your time and you fill it in. And then you want to drag this out just a little bit. All right, you see the line, it's looking good. Okay, boom. As you can see, that I already like gives my eye a little more of that, and it'll definitely do the same thing for Victoria because she has like gorgeous eyes. I'm gonna keep saying that. So go over here and do the same thing. And again, the liners, just like your eyebrows, they don't have to be twins. They just need to be related, okay? Sisters. We're gonna move on to blush and highlight, and then we'll add our final touch, which is lip and lash. Okay, so for the blush I'm using today, I'm using the Pink Lady blush. I think you can play with blush no matter what skin tone you are. I love a super pink blush. For Victoria, I would love to see her use a super pink blush like this, or also some great colors is something that's a little more like orange or coral, kind of like this shade, or like a deep berry like this. Either one of those, all three of those shades I think will look beautiful on her. Today I'm going to use this one on myself because spring is coming, even though I never switch my blush for fall because I just love this blush so much. With liquid blush, less is more. Literally 2 little dabs. Same thing if you're going to use like a powder blush. I would say, again, literally you just take like 1, 2, and then boom, boom, boom. This motion if you're going to use a powder blush. Okay, so I'm using this brush. This is the Sigma F79 brush. It's actually a concealer blend kabuki brush, but I like to use it for my blush. and I just bring the blush kind of like in a diagonal to kind of pull the cheeks up a little bit. As y'all can see, I didn't contour. I don't typically contour, again, unless it's full glam. I got a photo shoot, going to like a very special event, then that's when I do it. I love to bring the blush all the way up and out. I just think it creates like a beautiful symmetry to the look. I have no idea, but yeah, just blend that up and out. If you ever use too much blush, take your foundation brush and just go over it a little bit. It'll cover the color up just enough. And for highlighter, I am going to be using the Sephora Colorful Luminizer. Let's use this. This is definitely more of like a highlight than a glitter. Personally, I love a glitter more. This and the Diamond Bomb, I would say, are very similar. This has more color to it, but they're like almost the same. And the color payoff is kind of the same. I would say it's almost a dupe. A little bit of this and just put it on the apples. I put it right, honestly, I put it right above, I put it right on top of the highlighter. I mean, I put it right on top of the blush. And y'all can see, like, that is gorgeous. Honestly, I'll be doing too much with it because it looks so good. It looks so good. Like, do y'all see that? Oh, see, again, if you put a little too much on, see, I was getting a little too excited. You can try to blend this out, but it's not gonna blend out any better. You're gonna have to go on top of it with foundation, just a little bit. See, even players mess up. Okay. See, that toned it down a little bit, but it didn't take it away. Yeah, see, it didn't take it away, but it toned it down. So I like to highlight the tip of my nose with this, of just a tad bit on my forehead. Make that shine too. And I always take the foundation brush and just go over it because you don't want it to be too harsh, but just like a little shimmer. When I owned my kiosk and I'd be at the mall and I would put like the shimmer right there, people loved that, honey. They ate that up. I got compliments every day. So put some highlighter on the forehead. All right, now that that is done, we're gonna go in with lashes. My favorite lash. When I put it on right, because I don't always put it on right, but when I put it on right, people always say what type of lash extensions they are, and they are the Naked Lashes by Ardell. You can get these at Target, Walgreens, Walmart, Amazon. They literally sell this lash everywhere. It's my favorite lash. I always add mascara to my lashes. I already have some that I use in my last few looks, a different type of lash glue. I kind of don't like the one that I have. I'll show you guys. It just doesn't dry down all the way like I want it to. And it kind of leaves like a white cast just a little bit, and also like it's really hard to get off my eyes, so I don't prefer that. I was using like the brown duo lash glue at first, but that wasn't sticking good enough, and like the inner corner would always lift, which would bother me so much. This is the little raggedy glue I've been using. It is like, look at this, I can't even get it open. Here's my suggestion when it comes with lashes. Practice makes perfect. Maybe practice when you don't have anywhere to go, and get good at using your fingers to put your lashes on so that you are not dependent on your tweezers, because if those go missing, then you're stressed out and you don't know how to get your lash on, and that's no good. I go in, I coat the lash on top, let it sit for just a few seconds, and then you can go ahead and start popping them on. I typically try to, I mean, you guys are gonna see, I'm gonna be quiet while I put the lash on because I gotta focus. You wanna try to stick it like right where you want it to go. In the middle first, get it as close as to your lash line as possible. Then take your other hand and adjust that inner corner. The inner corner is really what be giving people away. I don't even know if I'm doing it right today. Make sure that is on. Then you can take it and make sure that the edge is on there good. That's why the wing liner is important, because it helps to kind of blend the band in. Y'all, I hope it's on there right. I really hope it is not lifted up right there, because honey, that's what we getting in. We cooking with flames. Use a mirror. Like I'm using the mirror under my eye like this, so you can really see if it's like, you know, so you can really see if it's stuck on the inner corner like it's supposed to be. Let that dry before you be moving around too much, because that's how it be happening. That's how it be moving. For Victoria, I think this lash will be great. Or if you get a half lash, there's a brand called Glamnetic. I'll like insert a picture of the half lash here. There's a lot of brands that sell half lashes, like the corner lashes, because her eyes are very cat eye and they go up like this. Like this lash could be a little too much because of like how long the hairs are in the front. So if she took like a half lash and put it on like the outer corners right here, and then went in with her favorite mascara, well, you're gonna give her my favorite mascara because I think it's the best, but you go in with this mascara and you just comb through the lashes in the front, get them nice, long, and full, and then add a little bit under where the lash is stuck on. I think that'd be super pretty, flirty, really help to open up the eyes and give it like that flirty look. So before you go in with your mascara, make sure the lashes are dry so it doesn't snatch or like move the lash out anywhere else. Now for my natural lashes, I prefer to use the Give mascara, right? If I'm adding mascara to a lash, I am going to go for the Fenty Beauty Hella Thick, or I'm going to go for the Better Than Sex, because these both kind of are like, this is definitely a volumizer. This is kind of like volume and length. For today, I'm going to just use the Fenty Beauty Hella Thick. This is really great for natural lashes. This little cocktail right here, lengthen and lift, separate the lashes extremely well for your natural lashes, and then you go on top with the Hella Thick. Girl, it's gonna give everything that it freaking needs to. You're gonna be looking great. Okay, so I just go in here with the Hella Thick. I go in first in the inner corner to bring those hairs up to kind of blend it in with that lash, and then I go under and just do light strokes just to blend in my natural lashes with the lash. Same thing on the other side. That's why you want this to be dry, so that you're not snatching the extension. And then for my bottom lashes, I never use like a volumizing, like this type of brush. This type of brush for bottom lashes, it sucks, okay? Because the bottom lashes are kind of fine and they're short. So you want to use like a mascara that has like the little spikes. Like this is a great, this is a great brush to use, okay? This is a great brush to use. It's like plastic, it has little spikes. This is the Sky High Lash Sensational by Maybelline. And then right now I'm using the Give mascara, the Can't Stop Staring. Again, the brush on this is a plastic brush and it has little spikes. And anything that has like this little tip at the top, can it focus please? Jeez. Because I got this in my freaking hand. Anything that has this round tip with the spikes on the top are going to be great for your bottom lashes, because it really helps to catch every single lash. So for her, I would suggest keeping the mascara on the outer corner, yes, on the outer corner of the eye. So I'll show you what I mean. You'll just take it, again, you just got to go very slow with this. You pretty much, for her, you pretty much want to stop in the middle of your eye, right there. You don't want to bring the mascara in, because again, we want to keep her eyes open. So once you kind of go in like this, kind of dragging the product down, then you can go in like sideways, horizontally, and go in there and kind of comb the lashes out. And then again, get the tips of the lash, go in very slowly, because you just don't want to get product on your skin. So you just want to make sure you go in, distribute the product with the tip to like the middle of the eye, drag it down like this, then you go in horizontally, slowly comb the lashes down. This will just make sure you get the best product distributed. without getting it on your skin. Let's move on to lips. So I get this question all the time, and as you can see with my lips and as you can see with Victoria's lips, we both have lost color on like our bottom and upper lip. That is originally when I started using lip liner myself. So yeah, so I'm using the Anastasia lip pencil in malt. Y'all can see that I love this pencil a lot. This is probably like my 4th or 5th pencil that I have used because I love it so much. So again, you just want to outline your lips. Most of her bottom lip is pink. It doesn't matter whether your whole lip is depigmented or not, you're going to want to outline your entire lips with a pencil. You just want to start with the outer corners of the lip and bring it around. You don't want a crazy thin line. It's not the 90s anymore. So when you come in your mouth, you want to kind of like bring it down to like right here. Like that. And then go in again. Same thing at the top. If you have like a little indent right here, you just want to follow the natural shape of your lip. Just do one of these. As you can see, I'm making sure not to bring that whole lip down and get it smudged because I don't want to mess that up. Okay. And then my favorite thing to do if you're not like a lipstick girl is to use like a lip oil tint or a lip gloss tint. This is the Plump, I think it's by Maybelline. Yes, Plump. Now I warn you, this gloss is spicy. It's very spicy, but I like it. And then this is the NYX Fat Oil. It's a very pink shade. I love using like a gloss that has a pink tint because it kind of gives you, like if you're not super into lipstick, the tint gives you like some funness. Also, you can use a more pigmented gloss like this one. There's a lot going on this gloss. Let's just wipe that off. You can use this one as well. These are like my favorite shades at the moment. I love this like cotton candy pink. My favorite gloss of all time, I ran out. It's the Lawless Cherry Vanilla Lip Gloss. It's like the perfect red tint. This is like the closest thing to it. So I'm going to be using this gloss today. So this is super simple. You just put your gloss on. I start in the center. As you can see, it gives me just a little bit of a pinkish red tint. Okay, and that is it. Make sure you pack your lip gloss and your liner in the bag because it will disappear as the night goes on. Okay, you guys, here is the finished look. I love the way that it came out. I will be sending Victoria products for her to try out to recreate this look, and I really hope she does and she sends me a picture. I will keep you guys updated over on my Instagram and my YouTube shorts. So thank you guys so much for watching this video, and tune in next time for another video where I help someone else do their makeup with vitiligo.